This is where the smoker has been these past several months. So we're now caught up to present day. We finished up the smoker like in November, beginning of November, and it is May now. So it's been a few months over the winter. Full disclosure, we have used it a few times that we did not get a ton of footage on it. So this is our first full cook that we'll show, getting everything on there hopefully. But yeah, you can see we just have it alongside of the house underneath the same tarp that we had before. It held up pretty well over the winter. We had these little cords on the top to kind of support from the snow and all that weight there. So we'll get it out, take a look at it a little bit more around. It is black, it's been painted, as you can probably tell. But we'll talk about that a little bit here in a minute once we get it out. This tree was not heavy enough. You want the chains on? Those tires, when you turn, they twist like crazy. Man, it cannot be good for those tires. So we're gonna try to jack this thing up. Just take a look at this. These tires are all sorts of crazy. A lot of weight on that truck, I just realized. Yeah. How's that side? I mean, it's a lot better. This side still can go a little more. Up and down. Oh. So it is in its spot where we're gonna be cooking today. So you can see it's, right now we're going off of the front jack lift and then 2 jack stands in the rear. That's one of the things that we'll be adding at some point, is I want to have 2 like mounted jack stand crank lifts things in the rear and in the front 2 corners, just to stabilize a little bit, because we want an angle going towards the front down a little bit for the drain, for all the grease and stuff to fall out there. So but it's set up there. You can see we have cardboard over the hole for the smokestack going down, and then just a little piece up here to stop the metal from rubbing on metal temporarily, because we haven't made a permanent holding spot for that yet. But that's how it's been for most of the winter. What we've done since then, obviously it's painted. What we did with that was use some of the, I think it's Rust-Oleum, like high temp grill paint. That was mainly just to protect it from all the elements, so it didn't rust during the winter. So we'll probably end up just repainting it at some point, maybe sandblasting the whole thing, because the trailer isn't painted here yet. Other things, Alex recently finished up some of the welding on those supports, or where they connect to the trailer. You can see the brown residue from the welding. So he recently did that. Still has to do these rear ones. Then also finished welding the door, like all this stuff through there. Same thing on the back side. You can see all that stuff over the paint is what we've recently done. So what we're gonna try to do with today's cook is just kind of go through the whole process, see how it works. We have 2 briskets, 2 pork butts, and 6 racks of spare ribs. And then we're gonna try to put together some meals to take around to a few people who have helped us out when we went through this whole build. So hopefully we can get something like that going. It's in the afternoon right now, so the plan is to just get it done whenever it happens, probably late at night, early tomorrow morning. Throw it in some coolers, let it rest for a while we get our sleep, and then bring it to them tomorrow. So another thing that we need to work on is getting a way to lift this up. 'Cause right now it's the old-fashioned way. I'll show you how we've been doing it. This here is an extra piece of scrap that we've been using for the dampener, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
To go on top of the smokestack because we haven't made a proper one yet. So just in the winter when we were cooking on it, it's just been hard to keep it at temp. So because if we're running it wide open, it's just pulling so much air through that it's basically cooling itself down. So put a little bit of that on there, restrict the airflow, hopefully keep a little bit more heat inside. That's been our plan, and it's worked well. We've used it a couple times now. Hopefully once we get a permanent one, it'll work a little nicer. That way it's adjustable and all that.
Yeah, we had a couple briskets on there, and they took forever. And we were cooking at, you know, like 275 to 300, which we usually do for those, and they just took a long time. So this has sped it up a little bit. I do want to try it again without it, because the last few times we did it, it's been freezing outside. So that might also have something to do with it. But if we get an adjustable one up there, we should be able to get that thing dialed in pretty good. So, and this is, again, how we have to do it right now, because we don't have any other way to get up there. And hopefully that never falls off on anyone's head.
Yeah.
Because that's or fall down into the chamber.
Show you a quick inside view of what we got going on. So I bought a big full catering pan there that we use as a water pan up front. There's a ton of ash that comes through this area, so we don't really use it too much for putting the food in there. You'll see what it looks like afterwards. But other than that, I mean, we usually put the food down at the end over on this side, and it's usually pretty consistent throughout the cook down at the end. So all we do is throw some charcoal in there, lit. Grab a few splits. Start off with the smaller pieces. And then once you get some coals going, you can throw a big one down there. Usually go 3 high. Yeah, I mean, depends on how much, you know, what the temp is outside, I guess. But starting out, I'll go 3.
Yeah.
Usually when it gets later and colder, we have to just have as big as fire as possible. And this is oak. We have oak, we have maple, and then we just got a little bit of cherry wood mixed in with that delivery right here. So we'll probably stick with maple and oak today. It's not the driest of wood, if you can see that boiling coming out of there. So once it gets hot, it burns.
Yeah. Once this thing warms up, it's pretty steady. Just takes a lot of fire to get it there. So as it warms up, we're at 150. About the same here. Yeah, this is pretty close right now.
It's pretty consistent. Like, we're obviously hotter down towards the fire end, and we sit about a little very similar in here, a little cooler, and then it'll warm up on the end sometimes, just depending on how much airflow you have going through, I guess. But that's been our main thing, and that's just part of dialing it in. We've only cooked on it a handful of times.
Yeah.
So get that thing going up there.
Yeah.
We'll probably figure out some kind of vent for the back door, the firebox door.
That's another thing that's not done, is we have no latch on the door here. We have the mechanism for it.
I have this guy that needs to be greased up, but but yeah, we haven't put anything there yet. We also learned pretty quick that, you know, you have it open, the fire will get hotter,
but it actually cools it down inside because you have just so much air going through, because our stack is just pulling air. I mean, you can see it right now.
And that's with the limited, or with the restriction up there too.
Yeah, so you take that thing off and it's just
It sucks like crazy.
the vortex
Drafts.
in there. So shut it down a little bit. It might choke the fire down a little bit, but it keeps heating there better. And as long as you're not closing the door, like it's not like we're getting bad smoke.
Yeah. Another thing that we need to work on or get in here is some sort of way to hold this grip pan up there, because I have it sitting on our chimney right now for the charcoal to get it a little bit higher up, because this thing is splattered everywhere. But minor things overall.
So we're thinking we'll probably just do get that hinge material stuff that we had, get a little handle here, and just turn it, and it'll turn a little plate on top. It's pretty a common design you'll see around. And then we need to obviously do the walkway here, which that's probably going to be our next big thing we need to do. Is we're going to probably just bring it out to here, and then we got to do the wheel wells. And then we were talking about maybe doing a little like table thing, you know, fold down table we could just have right here to set food on or whatever.
I forgot about that.
And then we'll probably do a wood rack on the backside, because wherever we're taking this thing, we're going to need to bring wood, and might not be able to hold enough in the back of the truck. Like
This thing
realistically,
goes through a ton of wood.
it goes through a ridiculous amount of wood. So probably do a wood rack here. Do, you know, same thing, bring it out to here. We can stack wood up to, you know, however high we make it. A big thing, towing wise, is we're still very light on the tongue. So we're gonna have to figure out some way to weigh it down. We don't want to just put a ton of weight up front just for weight's sake. So if we can do something functional and heavy, I guess, on the front, that would be great, but we haven't quite figured that out yet.
So we probably went through, this was full for our last cook, and we
Through about a third of it.
brought it, yeah, probably about a third of it. That was a 12-hour burn, which is probably what we're gonna be doing today. So the fire's probably been going, I don't know, 30 minutes or so. Working it. Added a few splits already. Temp wise, about 250. 225. A little under 225. And almost down to 200 here, so it's still got to warm up. I can still set my hand on there, it's warm, but not burning. Thick metal takes some time for it to heat up. Second brisket is done. Going on. That's where it is, both of those. And then we will, I'll probably get the pulled pork on there pretty soon. Just let it go and get some smoke. Alex just put a little bit of wood on there. We just had the briskets on a little bit ago. It's definitely warm, and it shows over on this side. We're above 400 on right at the smoke or the firebox. 350 here. We're trying to cook at 300 is what we're want to keep it at. I usually like to err on the high side, especially with this big thing. because if you get it too low, it just seems to take forever. So about 325, which isn't terrible. At night, we got to keep the fire going extremely hot as well because it's just colder outside. But yeah, we try to keep it steady for the most part we can, but it does have these swings. You add wood to it and it's going to go up, at least right now. Maybe we can get it more dialed in later. So there's the second pork butt. 2 briskets, been on, what, 2 hours? Almost an hour and a half, something like that. Looking good. Had a few people hang out with us while we cook. And my new best friend, Con, absolutely hates me. This is about 75% of what we spend our time doing cooking on this thing.
You build up a fire, it breaks down, and then you gotta rebuild it. That's how it goes.
Filled up the water pan not too long ago. $3.25.
Yep, pretty much.
275, 280. Take a quick peek. We are about 3 hours in on the briskets, at least. Is that about how big you usually go?
It depends on, I don't know. Sometimes I go bigger if I want it to last longer, smaller if I want it to get hotter.
On our smaller cooker, we probably used half of one of those little guys as a split. It's getting darker, as you can see. Temps getting a little bit lower too. Stoking the fire. We're gonna check and see if we want to spritz the meat a little bit. I usually go with a mixture of apple juice and apple cider vinegar. So it's getting dark a little bit. Yeah, it's drying out a little bit. Okay, pork. It's looking fine. All right. So obviously it is dark out, and I've been slacking. I let the water pan go dry, so I'm gonna fill it up. I have a couple cups over here. It's probably not the greatest to do when it's very hot, but. Woo. We got to keep the fire a little bit bigger right now just because the temps are dropping. We're down in the 40s. Good sized blaze going, putting off a lot of heat. There's a few cracks and pops going on in the metal right now. But it's cooking well. The briskets are definitely getting a good amount of color on them. Over here rendering. It's about 10:30 right now, and we are about ready to get the ribs on. So I got the station ready to go. I'm gonna get them, trim them up, put the rub on, and then just throw them on the smoker with the rest of it. It's definitely cooling off out here, but not too bad.
look here. Just got all the ribs on. We're steaming it up. Briskets are getting some color. That top is getting a little bit dark, but it's looking good. Sprayed those. Still haven't sprayed these pork butts. They're looking all right, looking juicy. Then there's our 6 spare ribs. And we're in the middle door with these guys. So we'll see how they go. We'll rotate them around if we need to. You can see on there too some of that ash, which I don't know if there's much that we can do about that. But and then on the fire box end, water pan still pretty full. We filled that in a little bit ago. See the fire coming through, ash everywhere. You can see it flowing through there too. Huh. All right, get the doors closed. It's about 11:30 right now. It's cold out here, colder. And we're just keeping a big fire in there. Time for another spritz. See how this is doing. Yeah, it's getting pretty dark on the edges here. You can see that. Ooh, that fire, that heat is warm coming out of there. Wow.
How's ribs looking?
Ribs look pretty good too.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Still early.
still early stages in these guys. All right. So it's about 12:30, maybe 12:45 right now. Alex just went to bed for a little bit. Temp's running a little bit low, so I'm gonna be on fire duty for the next while. The briskets are pretty close to being ready to wrap, so I'll probably do that in 30 minutes or so. I might wake Alex up to have him help me out with that. But yeah, I'll be hanging out here with the fire. You can see how the doors are definitely not airtight. The smoke is coming through the tops, bottoms, and probably the sides. Let's see what it looks like from back here. Oh yeah. Okay, looks like it's time to wrap. Pork butts, 2 briskets. Not the greatest wrapping job I've ever done, but I think it'll work for now. And I'm fogging up. Then over on the rib end, just spritzed them for the first time. These things are looking mighty fine. Getting that good color on them. That one down there, it's a little bit dark. Overall looks good. Let them go a little bit longer and then wrap them.
I think so.
Cool. It's probably what, 2 o'clock? Quarter after 2 right now. I may have dozed off on my fire duty, but we are We're back up to 300. It's almost 3:30. We just finished wrapping up the ribs. So now it's just a matter of letting it finish cooking. So I'll give you a peek at what's going on. So there they are. We were running low on the tin foil, so some of them are wrapped a little bit weirdly. You can see there's a little well, if it wouldn't fog up, there's a piece of box there, but those are ready to finish cooking, that is. Down at this end, believe you've seen this already, but briskets are greasing through there. Pork butts right there, so give us a couple more hours and we should be ready for some sleep. Well, I'm ready for some sleep right now. Underneath there, using our rounded bottom, it's real nice and warm though. It's chilly out. So everything but the brisket is ready to get pulled. Oh, it's about 5 o'clock right now, almost. Take these out, nice and bendy. Hopefully not overcooked. They are tender. Good looking piece, just like that. So what we're doing with the briskets here is, since everything else is done and it's wrapped and we're both want to go to sleep, we're going to put them on these racks and throw them in the oven for probably the last hour, however long it needs to be in there. They've been on already for 12 hours. I can feel them, and they got some jiggle to them, but I want to make sure that those are pretty soft as they need to be, so it feels heavier. Okay, well, we'll have to work. Well, it's getting light out. We just pulled everything off. Briskets are in the oven to finish up. It's about 5 o'clock, 5:06. So we're gonna shut this down, and then we will check back in a little bit later in the morning once we've gotten some sleep. It's a little after 12 o'clock.
Food's ready.
Food's ready. We got a bunch of it sitting right over here. Steve's getting ready to start slicing into the brisket. We got done with most of it at around 5. We brought it in, put it in coolers, let it rest. Except
Briskets went another hour.
yeah, briskets went about an hour more in the oven. Took them over a little farther than we normally do, but somebody fell asleep on the job. Yeah, so this morning, I don't know what time, we
turn the oven back on to about 170. Put the food in there, you know, act as a warmer for, you know, a while, so we have safe food, keep it food safe. We're thinking about if we're, you know, on a site somewhere, we might be using the smoker as our warmer. Keep it, you know, 150 or something like that, because we don't have a warmer and we're not gonna have an oven with us. It's warm. It's juicy. Yeah, it might
Took it over a little?
might have took it over a little bit. It's not gonna be tough. It's hot. Oh, that's hot. See how we did. See it? Oh man. Not much there. Of course, split this one up for the two of us. It's a little tough, but tastes good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the bottom got tough. So I'm thinking we're gonna do some chopped brisket as well. Probably do that on the second one. A little bit of lean with the patty. The slices are too thick. Let's just see one of these. If it'll hold up, I'm not sure if it will. Nope.
Oh boy.
Oh. Yeah, that's not working. Don't mind if I do. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Look at that. There's nothing in there.
That's what everyone wants to see right there.
Cut a couple more of those off and then I'll split it if I can. Yep. Oh, one more. I like them to be even. Ugh. It's falling apart, guys. I don't want to do the middle, but I will. So there's still a little bit in there, but this stuff is not too bad. Yes, sir. A little overdone. Very tender. I'm happy. Juicy as can be.
Juicy as can be. Doing a rack here now, and then we're probably gonna time lapse the rest of it so we can actually get it done at a timely manner. See what we got? It's once again tender.
Good color on there.
Nice color.
Didn't use any paprika.
Yeah, that's all smoke. The complex rub. Salt, pepper, garlic. Let's see if I can cut it straight now. Get that out of here. Not a lot of resistance. Oh. Come on.
Struggling. No pressure.
So we've had in the past with this smoker some food that was not tender enough. As we use it more and more, we're not having that problem. So we're gonna have to find the sweet spot, because I don't like my ribs necessarily falling apart.
And the only thing we've really struggled, or not struggled, the only thing we've had problems with is the brisket. Ribs, chicken, the pulled pork, like most of that stuff cooks, you know, in a normal time. It's just brisket, it can be a little stubborn sometimes.
So, I mean, there's obviously the bone's only half there. Probably not the best best rack, but I mean, it looks come on.
Don't be afraid to take a bite.
This piece right here has my name on it. Yep. It's tender. It's delicious too. Yep. I mean, definitely falling off the bone. It's moist like crazy, which is awesome. That's real good though, real good. Whoever made these things knew what they were doing.
Man, that is good.
Again, a little on the tender side, probably. But
yeah, like a little more bite to it, but
yeah, I like some bite, but that flavor is spot on. Spot on. Let's see what this one looks like. Bigger rack. Bone's falling through. Beautiful. Look at this. Man.
some pullback on the side. Those full spares, they just, something about them.
There the bone goes. I like coming this way. So what my plan is with all this stuff is to take notes on what we did, what we liked, what I didn't like, and then next time tweak it so we can get our process dialed in and repeatable.
Because prior to this, we cooked on a bunch of different types of cookers, none of which were consistent.
We had a terrible cheap, well, I wouldn't say terrible, it's Oklahoma Joe offset.
Yeah, which, I mean, is good for what it is. Doesn't hold heat quite as well as this. Yeah, what else? We use a Weber kettle.
Use a kettle.
Kettle a lot. I had an old drum smoker I haven't used in a while, but
that was actually our fire pit during the build.
yeah.
Again, really tender. People tend to like the tender ones, so I mean, I don't think people are going to complain. That's huge.
Because we're not a competition.
Yeah, but like, I mean, this isn't too bad. These bones are a little bit longer. We have the end piece there for these spares, but
We can do that juicy.
it's juicy still. I mean, for sure.
A little smoke ring on it.
This thing doesn't have like super dark smoke rings because I think the smoke is so clean.
Yeah, we I don't think we've ever had dirty smoke going through, just because the fires are always so big and running clean. It doesn't.
But you get a lot different flavor on one of these than you would with that Weber kettle.
Yeah.
All right, so that's good. You've seen this. We'll put the time lapse on, finish this up, and we're gonna get serving.
Christmas morning.
Here's the final spread. One rib.
This is pulled pork.
So we can leave that one.
Sliced.
Sliced brisket. Good option there.
That's
We ended up chopping a whole brisket, that first one, and it being a little bit more tender than the second one. So I decided just to go back and chop it up.
There's a lot of ribs.
Alex complained last time, so
Everyone takes them. Everyone takes the ribs.
I was sure to buy some more this time around. On over there. All right, one final close up. Regular old canned baked beans, potato salad, or not potato salad, tuna salad, slaw, homemade sauce, some other kind of sauce I've never heard of before, and buns. So that's about it for right now. So what do you think?
Pretty tasty so far.
Yep. I'm tired, so we're gonna get everything wrapped up here. We just wanted to kind of show it at the end. So what we would need to do now is just, get it back into its storage spot. So take that, lay it down. You can take a quick peek inside the firebox. See how much ash we have in there.
Most of it's inside the cook chamber.
Yeah, most of it. I'll show you that too, but nice little pile. Usually it's still some hot coals in there.
The insulated firebox works pretty well.
Yeah, it does.
By the end of the cook, it's warm, but you can put your hand on it and burn yourself.
But here's the inside. It's not the ideal situation. Check all this out. But can you see all that? And then, not sure if that'll show up or not. Not really. Check all that out. And there's still stuff coming through the air, but just a lot. So I don't know if that's normal or
there's a decent amount in there. But we're just not going to cook down to this end. I mean, it's not probably a reasonable place to cook anyway because of how hot it is down here. So for the time being, we'll just keep cleaning it up afterwards and move on.
The big thing that we need to do going forward is just figure out how we're going to hold our doors up.
Yeah, because right now we need someone to do that, and then
Our original plan was to just set something behind the hinges, and then you could just set it there like this.
how far up there is that?
The problem is, like, this is pretty high up, and you know, a good gust of wind comes by, and you have however heavy this is coming down on your head. You don't want that. Figure out a way to latch it in, or we can try Steve's truck hinges, the hood hinges, but that's gonna take a little bit of engineering to figure out how to get them in there.
It's all the grease.
Oh, yuck. We're gonna get it all put away. Get these plates put together for some of our friends, and then probably take a nap. So that's it for now. Hopefully we can get some other videos out in the near future with more builds, getting this closer to being done, some more cooks, and
We have some ideas in the works.
yeah, we want to get some more people here to try it at a larger scale. Fit some more stuff on there because we definitely have space still. So hopefully all that'll be coming up. But until then, we'll see you all later.